Hey kids, I'm back. I got another lesson for you today. Back here in the backyard. Um, I hope that first lesson that I did on the basics of U.S. government was helpful. Um, Remember, please ask questions if you don't understand something. Um, but today's lesson that I want to give to you is over this sheet. And on your study island, it says rights, civic virtue, role of free speech and press. Well, I'm going to hit part of this, not this whole thing on today's lesson, but the thing I want to hit today is civic virtue. Uh, what is civic virtue? Well, first of all, civic virtue is this understanding that we want to be willing to give to our community, even if it doesn't necessarily benefit you individually. Now, hopefully, you've heard of the famous speech by our President John F. Kennedy when he says, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country." So, let's take that little step further. Civic virtue. Ask not what your community can do for you, but what can you do for your community? Ask not what your team can do for you, but what can you do for your team? Ask not what your family can do for you, but what can you do for your family? Ask not what your church can do for you, but what do you do for your church? It's this understanding of give. Now, whoa, give. I'm in this for me, coach. What do I get out of this? What do I get out of doing all this homework? What do I get out of playing a position that I don't want to play? Coach, I'm the point guard, and I'm going to play point guard. I think you could really help us at small forward. No, I don't want to play small forward. I want to play point guard. I want to be the guy that dribbles the ball up the court. I want to be the guy that stands back off the free throw line, and you stand back off and everybody can see you. Nobody wants to stay on the free throw line, because you're going to bump into somebody. I don't know. We have this mentality in a lot of people that they're really in everything for themselves. And that's something that needs to be taught and to understand the value of giving. So that's what I want to talk to you today about. Civic virtue. Good night. Something popped up on my stupid computer here. Oh, got it. Okay. Now, the value of civic virtue. We all know now that we live, from the last lesson, live in a democracy. Yes, a democratic, federalistic republic. We live in a democracy. Well, for democracy to even work, obviously we know democracy means governed by the people, right? We're governed by the people. Well, for a democracy to even work, that means the people need to have an idea of what's going on. You have a duty as a citizen. First of all, citizens almost obey laws. This is right on your sheet. Bam. Okay? Got to pay taxes. And if you ever have to serve jury duty, if you're called, which I have never been called for jury duty, and I just think it sounds like tons of fun. Guilty. No, I would not do that. But I would love to be on jury duty, but I've never been called. But hey, maybe I will now. Um, so you have these mandatory things that you got to do as a citizen, okay? But then there's things that aren't mandatory that you don't have to do, okay? What do you not have to do? You don't have to vote. Isn't that crazy? That people are willing to give up this precious right to vote. My opinion is if you don't vote, then don't complain. Can't complain if you don't vote. You were given a chance to vote. Don't complain if you didn't vote. Now, you also don't have to get an education. You don't have to. You can just skate through, you know, do the least amount as possible. Okay, you don't have to hold elective office. Not very many of us do. Okay, I've never been held an elective office. You don't have to take part in community activities. Okay, and you don't have to serve in the military. I didn't serve in the military. I regret that. Honestly, I really do. I really regret not having gone out of the military out of high school. And I think that's a great option. I really do. But let's go back over these because some of these are very important. Let's talk about voting first. Okay. You realize, I have no idea in the numbers, how many people have died for this country so that we can vote? Voting is crucial to the democratic process, but not just voting, but being a well informed voter, someone that knows what's going on, someone that understands how our country's supposed to work, someone who knows, hey, if I vote for this person has ideas that are really not in line with the Constitution or whatever. What you think, how you interpret the Constitution. Because everybody says they're for the Constitution. Democrats, liberals, independents, okay, Green Party, I don't know. There's so many of them. Everybody says we're for the Constitution, but we're all interpreting it much different. We're all interpreting the same document much differently. Okay? Right to bear arms. It actually says in the Constitution, the right to bear arms shall not be infringed upon. Well, what does that mean? Does that mean I can own a Sherman tank? Well, we really don't want people owning Sherman tanks. So I'm going to give up my right that I think of to own a Sherman tank for the betterment of my community. See, this idea of civic virtue. Okay? There are some things that we're going to have to give up. The dogs are going crazy. Sorry. Some things we're going to have to give up to benefit our community. Now, there's always going to be some issues that we're very passionate about. I have issues that I'm very passionate about. I'm not going to share them on here with you, okay? But there are some things that when I vote for this person had better be in line with this, that, and the other, or I'm not going to vote for them. Okay, there are about three things that I am not willing to compromise on that. Now, I've had people that I didn't vote for that have been in office, okay, but our country voted for that person. And civic virtue is this idea that, hey, you know what? I'm still going to respect the elected, fairly elected official that got in, even though I didn't vote for him. Okay, because you got to remember, our country, we have all these people that make decisions for us, right? But we're the ones that put them there. They are a reflection of the American people because they're the majority, because they got the majority of the American people to vote for them or from their district, or region, or whatever, their state. Your education is so important, kids. It is so vital that you are an educated and well informed person. Democracy does not work if its people, its constituents, are not educated. Democracy also does not work if people don't understand responsibility. Let's give a small example. And I've used this example many, many, many times. You're at home and you're just like, Mom and Dad, I want to go over and hang out at Billy's house tonight. Well, Mom and Dad say, okay, mow the yard today. I need you to mow the yard. You mow the yard, you go to Billy's house. Well, you've been super busy, okay, because you're playing Fortnite or Overwatch or whatever you guys play now, okay? And, man, the time just got away from you. You're just so into your game and it just gets away from you and you don't, and then you realize parents get home, you didn't mow the yard. Then you're like, bye, I'm going to Billy's. And parents are like, whoa, 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 whoa. We're not going to Billy's because you didn't mow the grass. Oh my goodness, you thought the whole world just came to an end because now all of a sudden you can't do what you want to do. And you got to fight for your right to partay, right? Well, guess what? You have to understand responsibility to be able to have freedom. No one's freedom is free. You got to be willing to, and you're like, whoa, coach, come on, man. Don't bring out this responsibility stuff on me. I mean, we're staying at home. Okay, we're not, we got a lot of free time. Now you're hitting me with the R word. Kids, levels, your responsibility levels are going to determine a lot about you. They're going to determine a lot about your success in your career, your success in your relationships, your success with just about everything you do in life. Why do people who seems like don't do the most that do the least work but they have the highest positions, why does it seem like why do they get paid so much more? Their levels of responsibility are so much higher. Okay? That's why. It's all about your ability to handle responsibility. Let's say I just decided, I don't want to go to work today. I might get away with that once or twice. But then after that, I'm going to get sent back in. Why? Because I'm so irresponsible. If we're going to have a democracy that's going to last and it's going to be there for your children's children's children, we have to understand civic virtue. We have to understand what it means to give. I'm going to use a church example. I've been around church for a long time, and I hear this all the time. People are like, why'd you leave church? Well, I wasn't getting fed. I don't like the music. Pastor's kind of loud. I mean, you hear all kinds of excuses, and you want to know what the one thing in common is with all of them? The one thing in common is all about what they are getting. What if we went to church with the idea that I want to give? I want to give of my time. I want to give of maybe some of the resources that I have. I want to give to someone that maybe just needs a hug. What if we approached our ball teams as, hey, what can I give to my team today? What can I give? What does my team need? What if we had a team with 15 players that everybody said, what can I give to make this team better? Not what am I going to get out of it? Well, coach, if I play that position, I'm just not going to score as many points as I want. And that just doesn't work for me. Coach, I got to have that YouTube highlight reel for my recruiting. By the way, coaches do not recruit all highlight reels. Anybody can make a highlight reel. Just throw that out to you. They're going to actually see a whole game. So we have to have this. It's like we kind of have to kind of change the way we think when it comes to civic virtue, because if we're not givers, and if all we think is what is how do I get this for me, democracy will crumble. Kids, why does our government have to keep making more laws? Well, what's our government responsibility? What is it? What is our responsibility? What's the government responsibility? To protect you. That's what its responsibility is, right? Well, guess what? People keep doing crazy, crazy, crazy things, and they keep having to make more laws because they're trying to protect us. Everybody gets so mad at the government for doing all this and that and the other, when in actuality, they're just trying to do what it's supposed to do, protect you. But when citizens don't understand civic virtue and the responsibility that we have as citizens, we are hurting ourselves. Kids, I know this is not something that's fun to listen to, and I know that, you know, we've all had times of irresponsibility, had several of them. But kids, when we can really start understanding what it means to give than just to take, man, it makes everything so much better. It really does. Civic virtue is very important, kids. And for us to have a country, not just a country, let's just think about Foreman. First of all, Foreman is a beautiful place. I love living here. Okay. I was driving the mower today from OHE back to the school, and I just thoroughly enjoyed that little drive on the mower. Okay. What a beautiful town we have. What a wonderful place to live. What a wonderful place to raise children. Oh my goodness. It's amazing. What can I give to make this community better? Okay. I don't know. But whatever it is, and whatever I'm going to be asked to do, I want to have a willing heart to do it. And that's what we want to develop in you kids, is that willing heart to give your all. Okay? So, civic virtue, super important. And I hope that it's something that you really take to heart. Okay? You really take it to heart. To make our community better, it'll make your life better. It'll make your family life better. It'll make your school life better. It'll make our community better, and it just keeps going from there. It's got to start somewhere. Why not here? Where Foreman can be the example, the city on a hill, for people to say, wow, people in Foreman, man, they love each other. They take care of each other. That is a community that I want to be a part of. Okay, and I think it is. I think it could even be better, though. So, that's my lesson today in civic virtue. I love you, kids. You stay safe out there, okay? All right.